So far, I've taken a 24% hit, but I've still outperformed TQQQ by 21%. Hey everyone, welcome to Million Dollar SIP, where I'm documenting my real-time journey of growing my portfolio from $0 to $1 million in 10 years using a hybrid SIP strategy. Today is day 33, and I'll take you through my investment decision, trade execution, and performance update. I followed my usual routine of checking the opening price and closing price of the previous day's candle on the daily time frame to determine my investment limit for today. Since both remained below the 12 EMA, my limit continued to be $200 to $250. Next, like always, I switched to the 5-minute time frame. TQQQ opened below the 12 EMA and a bounce back occurred around 10:30, which triggered my entry. So I bought 4 units at $52.26, investing $209. Today was a bloodbath across the stock market. This was the aftermath of the tariff announcement I mentioned in yesterday's video. Post-market, TQQQ had already dropped 10%, and today it opened with a massive 13% gap down at $52. It continued to slide throughout the day and closed at $50, down 16% for the session. Nasdaq 100 fell 5.4%, S&P 500 dropped 4.84%, and Dow Jones tumbled 3%. As we know, TQQQ is a 3 times leveraged ETF, so its losses are amplified. But I'm not worried. I'm thinking long term, and I knew exactly what I was getting into when I chose TQQQ. And I'll continue with my hybrid SIP strategy to bring my average price down. Now, I've received a lot of comments asking why I'm holding TQQQ during a downtrend and whether it's a bad idea to invest in such a high-risk ETF. To clarify, let me show you some backtesting results to illustrate how this strategy plays out in such downtrends. During the period from December 21 to January 23, TQQQ experienced a staggering 81% decline, making it one of the worst downturns in its history. This raises an important question: how would a disciplined investor using dollar cost averaging have performed during this crash? To analyze this, I used a DCA calculator based on my investment limit, assuming an approximate weekly investment of $1,000. Here's what the data revealed. Total investment, approximately $61K. Market value at the bottom, approximately $47K, with an unrealized loss of 22%. Despite TQQ's massive drop of 81%, a consistent DCA strategy softened the impact, resulting in a significantly smaller unrealized loss of just 22% at the worst point. Markets don't stay down forever. If we continue the analysis, we can see a recovery where TQQ's losses improved. Using the DCA calculator again for this period, we now get total investment around $122K, market value around $230K, which is profit of 88% in approximately 2 to 2.5 years. This clearly highlights the power of averaging down in a disciplined manner. Instead of panicking and selling at the bottom, consistently investing through both the crash and the recovery resulted in a strong profit of 88% in just over 2 years. However, this was just basic DCA, a fixed investment amount without any optimizations. Since my hybrid SIP strategy follows structured rules to optimize entries and reinvest profits, my expected returns would likely be 5 to 10% higher. This means that instead of 88% profit, I could realistically aim for 95 to 100%. This is why I remain committed to my strategy even during extreme market downturns. It's not about timing the markets, it's about systematically positioning for the next bull run. I have allocated only a portion of my funds to high-risk ETFs, and this is not my emergency fund, and I understand the risks and I'm comfortable holding through downtrends. And this is a well thought out strategy, not a blind gambling. So don't follow me blindly. If you're okay with the risk and can handle market volatility, only then should you consider such an approach. Otherwise, stick to safer investment options. This channel is my personal investment journal, not a financial advice. So do your own research before making any investment decisions. Now, let's take a look at today's portfolio performance. So far, my total investment stands at $73.81 with 112 units of TQQQ in my holdings. At the end of today's session, TQQQ closed at 50.30, bringing the market value of my portfolio to $56.33. My average cost per unit is currently 65.90, which means I'm sitting on a net loss of 17.47, translating to a 24% decline. Since I started this investment journey, TQQQ has dropped by 45%, but my portfolio has declined by only 24%. This means I've successfully outperformed TQQQ by 21% so far. So that wraps up day 33 of my investment journey. I'll continue sharing daily updates, and if you found this update helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along to see how this journey unfolds. See you in the next video.